In this Star Wars FPS game news update video, I'm going to be sharing with you that it has been cancelled. Yes, seriously, the Mandalorian FPS game from Respawn is done, and we'll be going through everything. But before that, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future Star Wars gaming news updates. This is absolutely terrible. So many of us have been so excited, and hundreds of people have lost their jobs because EA have just cancelled one of the most anticipated Star Wars games that was in development. EA announced today that there would be nearly 600 job losses across the entire company, and that included jobs being cut at Respawn, which has been the golden child for quite some time now. From Apex to the Jedi games, they have not missed, but once again another one of their titles has been cancelled, and this time it is that Star Wars FPS game, which recently was rumoured to be a Mandalorian game. If you'd like to hear more details as to how the game played, I made an entire video going over all of the gameplay details, which sounded absolutely phenomenal and a perfect match for me. So many people were so excited just a week ago. If you haven't seen that video, there's a link in the top right hand corner of the screen. You can click that and just be more sad. This is such a big blow because so many people have been so excited. We want a shooter, it's a Mandalorian, it's Respawn, and it's now gone. IGN first reported this, and then it was quickly followed up by a bunch of other reputable outlets, and they all got a statement from EA, and they said it's always hard to walk away from a project, and this decision is not a reflection of the team's talent, tenacity, or passion they have for the game. And then went on to say that giving fans the next installments of the iconic franchises they want is the definition of blockbuster storytelling and the right place to focus, and that the Star Wars Jedi franchise will continue to see out its third and likely final game, in what has always been touted as a trilogy. IGN understand that the team working on this FPS game will largely be reassigned to other projects including Apex Legends, the Iron Man game, the Black Panther game, as well as the third Star Wars Jedi title. IGN then go on to say that EA are undertaking this cancellation in part due to what it perceives to be a rapid shift towards large open world games, massive communities, and live service games. Well, a bunch of us have been asking for a live service Star Wars game for quite some time. It's been 4 years since Battlefront 2 ended almost, and we've got nothing. And we also have been asking for open world games. They cancelled that. They decided to shift to single player games, and they've just cancelled one of them. That is not good enough because they were very, very passionate about creating this original Star Wars story as an FPS. It was being led by a legendary game director who had worked at LucasArts on the original Battlefront games as a producer, The Force Unleashed, games like that, and then came to Respawn to direct this game. On top of that, it was just a few hours ago before this news broke that two of the main developers on this Star Wars FPS game interacted with a tweet of mine on the Dark Forces remaster, which released today. They were talking about how they were going to play this today before they got this news, and this FPS game from Respawn was actually confirmed to be inspired by Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2. So that's pretty sad to know that I read their tweet, them being excited to check out this game that inspired their work, only for them to have the project cancelled. One of the outlets reporting the game's cancellation is actually the one that leaked it would be about a Mandalorian, and all of those gameplay details that we got just about a week ago say the cancellation has come as a major shock to those working on the project, understandably so. And they say that they already had several levels and a vertical slice completed. Yes, the game was still a year or two out, but still, if you have been keeping up to date with my videos covering this game over the past year or so, you'll know that I have regularly checked Respawn's job listings page for this game to see if they have any details, and they would reveal small nuggets of info. But even today, they have open jobs. The game is cancelled, and they were still hiring for this project as of today. Make it make sense. That's how much of a shock it is to the team. They were still looking to hire people to finish this game. This is absolutely insane, and I feel very, very bad for all of the people that have lost their jobs and had all of their work that they've been putting in for the last couple of years just wiped away. EA have also gone on to say to various outlets that they've decided they are sunsetting games and moving away from development of future licensed IP that we do not believe will be successful in our ever-changing industry. It seems like there will be the Jedi game still coming out, but after that, we don't know what's going to be happening regarding Star Wars titles from EA's studios such as Respawn. As we know, Respawn have been hard at work on the third Jedi game, along with the FPS game, and even helping to produce another game, a strategy game, that's actually been mostly developed by BitReact, a new independent studio. It is unclear if that is affected. I'm not sure if it will be, given that they are an independent studio and Respawn were simply helping them out develop the game. Fingers crossed that has been okay, and given that it isn't actually an EA game. IGN also say that EA is to remain focused on its long-standing relationship with Disney and Marvel, but I guess its Star Wars relationship is uncertain now. Tom Henderson, who leaked the information about it being a Mandalorian game and more, has said that he is going to try and get as many bits of information about this game as possible from sources, so hopefully we can learn more, even if it's not going to happen anymore. The more we know, the better, but it will make us even sadder. Star Wars games are just so cursed. Even companies like Respawn, which have delivered hit after hit after hit and have a long pedigree of incredible games and talent, still did not make it, and it doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't. EA Sports FC makes so much money, ridiculous amounts of money every single day, and we can't get this single-player game out. It's not fair, and it's a real shame. This isn't exclusive to EA also, because almost every major company in the games industry is laying hundreds of people off for some reason. PlayStation announced this week that about 1,000 people were being laid off. A couple of studios have been shut down. Various games as well. Microsoft announced around 2,000 the other week. Several other big publishers and developers are also doing the same thing. The industry is just in such a really bad state right now, especially after last year where we had such an amazing year for games. So many great games came out, probably the most ever in the history, yet thousands of people got laid off, and now in just the 2 months of this year, we're almost up to the same amount of people laid off as the entirety of last year, which does not make any sense given how successful games have been. I've already seen some people say, I'm glad this game has been cancelled because I didn't want to play as a Mandalorian, or I didn't want a first-person shooter, but I don't think some people realise that some people have spent many hundreds or thousands of hours working on this game. On top of that, so many fans have wanted a game where you're able to play as a bounty hunter in some way. You're going to do bounty hunter missions. It's a first-person shooter. Fans want a shooter. Yes, it would have been single-player, but that's what fans want. The tweets about the Mandalorian game went viral because they want this game, and a week or so later, it's done. The Star Wars Jedi games, as well as the Battlefront games, are the best-selling Star Wars games of all time. So now they've decided that's not going to be the future when we just know how popular the Jedi games have been in more recent times. Jedi Survivor last year did exceptionally well, and no doubt the third game will, but for some reason they couldn't give one more year to Respawn for this Star Wars game. Please let me know down below your thoughts in the comment section below. Obviously, this is a massive blow to hundreds of people, and yeah, it's very sad. Not because the game has been cancelled, but also all of those people that were working on it. Subscribe so you don't miss any future Star Wars gaming news updates, and if you missed any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.